Thank you very much, Gary. And the Formula Fords first up on a very damp track this morning. Showers about 15 minutes ago. It lasted probably only 2 minutes. It was torrential, Mark Osler.
Certainly was, and that could be the weather pattern all day, as Gary Wilkinson mentioned earlier. Let's have a look at the grid on the Shell Helix scoreboard. Todd Kelly on pole position, Jason Bargwanna alongside in the spectrum. Row 2, Christian Jones and Ashley Cutchy. Row 3 is Rich Fowler and Justin Lambeth. Row 4, Mark Lowing and Scott Bargwanna. And on row 5, Michael Simpson and Alan Cho. Cars very close to a start in this 4-lapper. There's Jason Bargwanna, the Southern Cross, representative of the Australian flag on his helmet.
And if it's anything like what they produced yesterday, look out, we are in for a barn burner.
These guys have really been going for it this weekend. We saw a fabulous race here from the Formula Fords earlier in the year at the Shell Touring Car Round. Yesterday, a great dice between these two, Todd Kelly and Jason Bargwanna. Bargwanna, of course, winning the race yesterday. That puts him on pole position for this 4-lapper this morning. Red lights are on. Any moments away from the start, they get the green. And Jason Bargwanna and Todd Kelly make equally good starts. They'll go side by side up towards Shell Helix corner for the first time. Track not too wet, so there's not too much spray. Kelly, just a little bit more bite off the line. He'll lead them through and up Mountain Straight for the first of 4 laps.
In saying that the track's not too wet, these guys don't have a front windscreen to keep out any stray bits of water. 30 Formula Fords in total, one including Christian Jones, who was outstanding yesterday. Casualty number 1.
Roderick Green, and a bit of a lose on the first corner, but he's got himself back together, heading up the straight.
And back at the front, Kelly's a man with a point to prove here. Yesterday, he got suckered by Bargwanna. Bargwanna let him pass, literally going up the mountain, and then passed him again, got in the draft going down Conrod, and passed him again. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not that same situation repeats itself today.
It was an extraordinary move, wasn't it? I mean, Jason must have either a lot of confidence, certainly in the horsepower that his engine's producing, and also the straight line speed of the car. It must be very aerodynamically efficient. He was just playing with Kelly. It certainly looked like it. But here, Kelly's got a real jump on Bargwanna in these slightly greasy conditions, and he'll leave the field over the top of the mountain for the first time.
Christian Jones, position number 4 on the circuit, carrying the number 27. The number his famous father and former world champion carried in Formula 1. It's an indication of the conditions, and despite the rain, Mount Panorama is absolutely chock-a-block full of people who have been here, some up to 10 days, in anticipation of the great race.
Well, here they had to shut down access to the mountain last night. It was absolutely full. They couldn't squeeze another person in there. So capacity crowd at Mount Panorama in 1996. It's unfortunate they got the bad weather, but he can guarantee not one of them will leave the fence line. Here they come down the hill for the first time. Todd Kelly in control, Jason Bargwanna and Cutchy in third.
I think control is the right word. Just look at the lead that Todd Kelly's got. This is enormous for the first lap of a Formula Ford race. This guy's got an enormous amount of talent. He's very spectacular to watch and does tend to make the odd mistake here and there, but when he gets it right, boy, is he quick.
Yep. Mark, we've seen a little bit of Todd Kelly throughout the year. Only 17 years of age, and he's actually quite lucky at school holidays at the moment. A student in Victoria, and this will do him all the good in the world, should you say. A real...
Keep an eye here for Christian Jones, trying to make a move on the inside there of Ashley Cutchy and move up into 3rd place.
Oh, and there's a battle here. Rich Fowler trying to sneak down the inside as well. That was a brave move by Jones, because they came down into Caltex Chase for the first time. He's really got a move on young Christian. Keep in mind, he's only 18 years of age, lives up there on the Gold Coast with his father, but this really is a rookie season for him.
Well, Christian had a disappointing day yesterday, got a dreadful start, fought his way back up to 3rd place and was almost on terms with the leaders by the end of the race.
And you can see a dry line developing as we go into the left-hander coming onto the pit straight.
Big challenge down the inside by Philip Skyfleet, the former Suzuki GTI racer. That was a nice move in these slippery conditions.
And this is a great performance from him. He's come from 14th on the grid.
He really is an outstanding, and that's the one thing about greasy, wet conditions, isn't it, Richard? It's one of the great equalisers in motorsport. You can struggle with either horsepower or grip and drive. When you get in the wet conditions, the driving skills really come to the fore.
It is, but one of the things I've noticed this year really is a bumper year in terms of talent in Australia in Formula Ford. There are some names here that I'm sure we're going to hear a great deal more of in the years to come.
They come over the hill. Just talking about Christian Jones, he did set a new lap record in that race yesterday, so he really got a move on in the Amstel Van Diemen. Very quick youngster, very fast in karts. 6th in the Suzuki GTI Cup last year.
how vital the right line is. We saw them going into the right-hander there, and one or two of the cars were just off the dry line, and as we've mentioned so many times before, these open wheelers are just so light under brakes, it really is a nervous ride. A challenge going into the cutting. Christian Jones looking for position number 3 on the racetrack at the moment.
There's Philip Skyfleet, excuse me, in the SK96 Swift. Skyfleet, only 18 years of age, from 5 Dock in Sydney. Apprentice plastic moulder by trade. 6 years in the international karting scene. He was, in fact, the Australian and New South Wales Formula A karting champion, so he's had plenty of experience in open wheelers.
This is a very impressive performance to come from 14th on the grid, but...
Look at Rich Fowler down the inside. That's a sneaky move, McPhillamy Park. That's a daunting part of the track. Very fast, very narrow, and if you get offline there, you pay a big penalty. Rich Fowler. Great run from Rich, 24-year-old from Sydney. He actually won the opening round at Eastern Creek earlier this year, but struggled for form later on in the season, but he seems to be getting it all back together at the right end of the year.
And haven't they been a fantastic act so far this year? It's a case of deja vu. The Formula Fords at Bathurst, and I say in all due respect to the touring car guys, these blokes virtually stole the show.
Yeah, I remember some of the guys, John Pratt, a very fast Formula Ford racer in England back in the 80s, once said that he wished the Formula 1 World Championship was in Formula Fords, and you see some real racing. Here comes a big challenge down the outside of Skyfleet as they come down Conroe Straight. So there's Cutchy. Jones still in pursuit. Rich Fowler now made a bit of ground for himself. They swing through Caltex Chase.
There's a fair few Formula 1 World Champions have made their name in Formula Ford as well.
Scotty Bargwanna is making a big move up the field as well. 24-year-old from Sydney, driving the ex-Mark Webber Van Diemen. And remember, Webber used that car quite effectively last year before heading overseas, doing very well in the British Formula 4 Championship. 2 laps to go, half race distance in this 4-lapper for the Formula Fords.
And really, the first 4 drivers have moved out from the field and will prove very difficult to catch in somewhat trying conditions. That on screen is the battle for 5, 6 and 7.
Whoops, 73 in trouble, Greg Fay entry, with Peter Jones at the wheel. You won't be happy about that, the old RF88. And looks like he may have some sort of mechanical failure there, so he's out for the day. Here, Kelly now. Bargwanna looks to be making up a bit of ground on Kelly. Kelly weaving left to right, trying to break the draft that Bargwanna's trying to pick up. Who's got a good run here?
It's party time.
But it's Kelly, not the right line quite,
yeah,
but...
Yes. It's very few times you'll see a guy come up on the outside, coming up to Repco Bend and take a guy. And Kelly was perfectly positioned there.
That car of Bargwanna's locally built, the Spectrum, and it's a lot different to the Van Diemen's, and it does seem to have a big advantage in a straight line. It does seem very quick.
It's a very impressive looking car from the front end. It's just like a dart. It's so narrow in its front profile.
We saw Jason Bargwanna yesterday pull out some racecraft that would have put a smile on the face of Michael Schumacher. Can he do it again today? Your race leader is Todd Kelly, the youngster from Melbourne, in his first full season in Formula Ford.
Well, Bargwanna's made up a lot of real estate on Kelly that previous lap. He's sitting, oh, look at Kelly, get very sideways, got a wheel out in the wet. Bargwanna's taken advantage. No shortage of bravery from Jason Bargwanna. Very tidy move, just like Rich Fowler did a couple of laps ago. Sneaks through at McPhillamy Park, took advantage of that mistake. And got one in trouble there. Back in the field. Bob Power from Queensland, but he's managed to get away unscathed. So Bargwanna, a fearless move down the inside of McPhillamy Park, which made it look so easy.
Jason Bargwanna was in this exact position, Mark Osler, yesterday. As we said, going up the mountain for the last time, he virtually pulled over to the side of the road, slowed somewhat, and let Todd Kelly through. Will he do it again? Only time will tell. Conrod Straight, and the little arrows are really flying at the moment, heading down towards Caltex Chase.
Over the white line, using all the road he's got. Bargwanna well in control. Look at Kelly's just getting a little bit slippy and slidey behind Bargwanna there on the brakes.
I wonder if Kelly's got a bit of a problem, because the car does look to be moving around an awful lot.
It's like it's become very unstable all of a sudden.
Maybe when he got a bit loose, maybe he just touched the wall.
Oh, look at this, hasn't slowed him down already. He comes back, continues to attack Bargwanna's car. Under brakes, 1 lap to go when they come across the start-finish line this time around.
Well, yesterday they were just this close as they came onto the last lap, and that's when Bargwanna pulled that amazing move.
And this time yesterday was a lovely sunny afternoon. I wonder if the slippery conditions are going to have anything to do with the result here today. Well, oh, look, there he goes again.
It's a one-on-one, and we're into the final rounds. The last lap, and it is Jason Bargwanna v Todd Kelly for the title.
Well, these cars do have an adjustable brake bias inside the cockpit. Todd may be playing around with the brake bias and maybe getting a little bit too much on the rear wheels because it looks very, very unstable under brakes. Darting and moving around as they come up to these faster corners.
And the battle for third and fourth just as intense. Christian Jones a little further back, looking on the outside. Oh, look at Kelly.
Oh, he comes up the inside. And Jones takes Cutchy as well. But Kelly, he got him too. Beautiful move coming up Ripco Bend that time around. So Bargwanna now finds himself in probably not a bad position for the final lap if he can pick up a toe down Conrod Straight.
This could very well end in tears. We've got a great battle for gold and silver, and the battle for third with Christian Jones in command at the moment.
This must be the biggest crowd of the season these boys are performing in front of, and I would think the nerves are beginning to tell a bit as well on the last lap.
And if
certainly in front of all the top touring car teams as well.
Todd Kelly, race leader, Bargwanna, right on the hammer. And this is deja vu as of yesterday.
Oh, goodness me. Gets a wheel right up on the ripple strip. That is dangerous country out there.
But he blocked the line neatly as he came up towards Skyline there.
Well, there's no doubt about Todd Kelly's courage or his car control. He's really just riding this thing on a knife's edge at the moment.
And once again, for the second time in 2 days, look at Christian Jones come on in the final lap or lap and a half of the event. Maybe it's too late this time round. It is Todd Kelly and Bargwanna, and it is time for Conrod. Can Jason Bargwanna do it again?
Now, in yesterday's race, Bargwanna was just about this distance behind Kelly, and he made up an enormous amount of ground in a straight line. Let's see if he can do it again this time. If he does, he's just got one sort of a jet engine in that car. Here he goes again.
Look
at how much ground he makes up in a straight line. That thing's turbocharged. Bargwanna ducks down the outside. He's done it again.
That is exceptional stuff from young Jason Bargwanna. Oh, Todd Kelly sideways through the kink. They enter Caltex Chase. On the inside, Kelly looking for some racing room. There wasn't enough, and we have 190-degree turn remaining.
That was a carbon copy of yesterday. Almost move for move. Unbelievable. Jason Bargwanna looking for 2 from 2 at Mount Panorama this weekend. Kelly comes back for one last lunge at the Spectrum. Oh, Bargwanna's...
Oh!
Well, it's never over till it's over. He went in a little bit too hot. Kelly was in the position. Bargwanna second. Christian Jones in third position. What a remarkable result. Well, they certainly turned it on, the Formula Ford boys, and that was just a classic example of the quality of racing we've seen all year. Kelly.
Todd Kelly firing up the number 12. No doubt ecstatic over his victory here at the mountain.
Check how they finished on the Shell Helix race score. Todd Kelly, it was in the Van Diemen RF93. Jason Bargwanna just got pipped on that last corner in the Spectrum. Christian Jones in the AMSA Van Diemen in third position. Rich Fowler managed to move up to fourth position. And Scotty Bargwanna in the Van Diemen RF96 rounded out the top 5. Great race from the Formula Fords at Mount Panorama.